Myself to be a bold person, willing to take risks. I've done skydiving, gone whitewater rafting, even rock climbing. But ever since I was a little girl, something as simple as wading into the ocean has filled me with fear. I'm fascinated by them, actually, at how beautiful they are and how they just sort of luxuriously move through the water. I've been told and I've heard that they rarely attack human beings. That's in my head. That's not how I physically behave at the idea of being near one. An experience when I was very little, when I was a little baby, probably set the tone. I was waddling off into the surf, and this was in Hawaii, and that my mother grabbed me out of the water and said, "Be careful of sharks," because there had been a shark attack. I think when I was about 10 or 11 years old, I decided that it was ridiculous to think that there were sharks in pools. So I dove in, I started swimming all the way across the pool. Little did I know that that was the moment my father chose to surprise me. And he dove in after me, and all of a sudden I felt something touch my toes. I think the movie Jaws contributed seriously to my fear of sharks. Dun, 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 dun. Every time I hear that, I mean, honest to gosh, even if somebody's making a joke and makes that sound, I get nervous. To this day, I cannot be in a pool by myself unless I can see the bottom. If I go to the ocean, which I love being near, I can't go too deep because I'm afraid if I see anything, it's going to be a shark. To begin to confront my lifelong fear, I was assigned a series of tasks to do on my own. Every day for a week, I looked at pictures of sharks. That's a good one. Video of sharks. Oh. Listened to the music from the movie Jaws. Oh, gosh. And practiced breathing calmly. I then met with Dr. Blanche Freund, a clinical psychologist at the University of Miami's School of Medicine's Department of Psychiatry.
Now, how did you do with the homework? How did that work out for you?
Well, I found that my fear increased significantly. I could feel my heart racing. I could feel my palms starting to sweat, and my breath quickening. So I was definitely getting afraid.
The best way of dealing with fears is to expose you to what you fear by getting you to hear the music of Jaws, seeing the sharks on video over and over again. You might be rather bored with that, meaning that you wouldn't have the fear reaction.
Okay. Dr. Freund then introduced me to one of the newer and more controversial therapies for traumas, phobias, and fears, called eye movement desensitization and reprocessing, or EMDR.
And what I'd like you to do is bring up one of the memories that you have of being scared of water, sharks, warnings. Do you have some kind of memory that you could bring up?
I think so.
So what I'd like you to do is to follow my fingers as I go back and forth.
The theory behind this therapy, often called EMDR, is that when a disturbing event occurs, it can get locked in the nervous system with the original picture, sounds, thoughts, and feelings. The eye movement purportedly serves to unlock the nervous system and allow the brain to process the unconscious, painful memories.
Okay, let's pause. What's going on? Anything?
I can hear my mother's voice being afraid.
Okay, stay with that. Let's go.
After repeating this procedure for 15 minutes, I did seem to be processing my fear.
Okay, pause. What's going on?
The fear is less. I'd like to learn more about sharks. After another half an hour of treatment, I was ready for the next level of exposure at a nearby hotel pool. I immediately want to look at the pool and make sure that there's nothing in the bottom. But you can't actually see the entire pool here.
You can't.
It's kind of blocked.
Right, and that's one of the reasons we chose this pool.
But I know in my head that nothing is going to be a problem, but my heart is still beating, so okay. And my head was right. Swimming in the pool didn't turn out to be a problem. But could I go into the ocean without that panicky feeling? I can't get more than 6 feet out from the shore without getting really nervous. Ready to try it? Okay.
Let's go.
Dr. Freund said I was now ready to confront my fear face to face. With no small amount of trepidation, I flew to the island of Bimini in the Bahamas with Dr. Freund and Dr. Samuel Gruber, a professor of marine biology at the University of Miami and the director of the Bimini Biological Field Station. Dr. Gruber started small, introducing me to a baby lemon shark that's currently the subject of one of the field station studies.
This is probably a 2-year-old.
Why don't sharks attack humans?
Well, because their normal prey is not humans. They would have gone long extinct if they had to worry about attacking a land mammal, which is a primate. An underwater giant fish eating a land primate is a freak of nature.
In fact, each year worldwide, sharks kill less than 10 people, whereas each year in the U.S. alone, deer kill more than 130 and bees and wasps kill more than 40.
Now, there are a couple of species that would consider us legitimate prey. They're not particularly found in this area in any great numbers. The great white shark, which preys on marine mammals, and we're kind of a mammal, although I understand they spit us out because we don't have enough fat.
I was about to see for myself at an offshore reef where sharks that Dr. Gruber has been studying for years can usually be found.
Look, here he comes, look, right there. Wow, that's enormous. Oh, man.
I couldn't believe I was now preparing to jump into the ocean, knowing sharks are in the water. Dr. Gruber describes the plan of action.
We're going to ease ourselves in, then Tim's going to come to you, and I'm going to come to you. We're going to hold on this rope and look toward that boat. And I'll be right next to you, and he'll be right next to you. Okay. Nothing's going to happen to you. Everything's fine. Okay. Now tell me how you are. Pretty scared?
I'm pretty nervous, but I'm not...
You're not freaked out?
No, right. I'm not freaked out, but I'm nervous.
Nervous, but as ready as I'll ever be to come face to face with my worst fear. Chum is thrown into the water to draw the sharks together. And after first trembling while I watched them rip through the chunks of fish, I found myself mesmerized, awed even, by how much more impressive they are up close, more powerful and beautiful than I had ever imagined. And then, amazingly, I was not afraid at all.
I'm not holding the line, but I'm okay. There was one over there, but then there wasn't one. But I feel like chasing a shark.
And so I did chase the sharks and saw that they actually seemed afraid of me.
That was great.
What do you think?
So great. I have no idea how beautiful it was under there. And it's not at all intense and frightening. It's so quiet and calm, and the fish are beautiful, and the sharks want nothing to do with me. Do I have to come out?
Of course, experts don't recommend chasing sharks on your own. While most shark species are considered harmless, you should only swim with them in one of the controlled shark dives offered around the world by professionals. If you do encounter a shark on your own, experts recommend getting out of the water as calmly but quickly as possible.
Do you feel as if you've been cured by Dr. Freund? We like her name, by the way.
Yeah, great name. But cured is a big word. I would say that I feel a lot more comfortable. I don't have the phobia
because you were even afraid to go into a swimming pool when you don't see the bottom.
That's over now, right? I mean, you have no problem with pools anymore.
That's over, exactly. I can actually think about the idea of learning how to scuba dive for the first time.
Because Brian's a big scuba diver.
Right, exactly. Yeah. And I've always, not wanted to do it because of my fear.
Bimini looked beautiful. Yeah. I'm afraid of Caribbean beaches, so next time I'll have to go there.
Watch my hand. Hold on 1 second.
Oh, I feel much better. Actually, I think I need to go and be at one to really get the solution.
Take us with you.
That was fun.
Good.
Yeah, it was fun.
Good for you.
It was fun.
You look good in a wetsuit.
Oh, no, I do not.
That's in fact, it took more courage to do that, to go on TV with that.
That was really fun. Anyway, tomorrow you're going to be confronting your fear, which is?
I'm not allowed to say.
Giving the wrong forecast? Well,
I'm not afraid of that. I'll be afraid.
Well, you dealt with it.
I'm afraid of working with people like you.
Yeah.